Hello, my name is Shulamith Koenig. Thank you so very much for inviting me, even that way. I'm really honored because I feel very, very strongly that the future of humanity depends on you. And I'll tell you why. But before, I'll tell you, my name is Shulamith, which means a woman of peace. And when I was a young woman, I told my father, what am I going to do with my life? Just I was 6 years old, and he said to me, I'll give you two words, social responsibility. And I want to tell you, it made an impression on me that really I have to devote my life to social responsibility. And I think the mere fact that you are here in this room, coming from so many places, I think that this is what you are committed to do. So let's start speaking about human rights. Very often people misunderstand human rights as being just the law. But human rights are political. Yes, they are. They are moral. They are protected by law. So we never speak about rights. We only speak about human rights. Now, human rights are only about one and only one thing, which is amazing. It's about equality without discrimination. Okay? Equality is the thing that's missing in the world. And let me give you a little metaphor. I go in the street, there's a stone. Even though I'm an older person, I run, I fall down on the stone. Everybody picks me up. Nobody removes the stone. Remember, the stone and my falling down is a symptom and causes. And I will beseech you women, while you are here, while you are talking, while you are discussing the future of your lives and what you can contribute as women, as young women to the world, remember to decipher between symptoms and causes. Now, the symptoms is falling down. The symptoms is trafficking of women. The symptom is even hunger, okay? The causes are, and I say that with a clear mind, is patriarchy. And patriarchy is not pointing finger at man. Patriarchy is a vertical system. When you're on the vertical, some of you may do sports, you hold on. When you hold on, you always, somebody's on top of you, somebody's under you, and you have to hold on, and power is the word. When you are on the horizontal, imagine even where you are now. If you want to go from one place of the room to the other, I bet you don't have to be engineers that you will find 10 to 20 ways to do it. Meaning, to really be able to be equal in our life, and I'll speak about equality too, we have to move the vertical to the horizontal. And the vertical today is patriarchy. All religions in the world are patriarchal, without any difference between them. Whether it's Christianity, whether it's Islam, or whether it's Judaism, or even Buddhism. It's all vertical, and it's all about man telling us what to do. I believe that it's difficult to be a man, because men always have to perform physically and metaphorically. And we have to understand that. And we have to help men move down to the horizontal. Now, what do I mean by that? We have to understand that equality is not being the same. Equality is actually being equal in dignity. I hope after this discussion here that you will be able to look at the short version of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and discuss the meaning of dignity and the meaning of equality. But equality is being in dignity, in community with others. Dignity is the essence of life. Dignity is who I am in the world. But most important, I have to recognize the dignity of the other as my own. I have to recognize the humanity of the other as my own. And this is all what human rights is about. Human rights speaks of 5 basic needs: food, education, housing, healthcare, and work at livable wages. These are the 5 basic needs with which we can't live. And we all have to have it. We can't have, without education, we can't have a job. Without having a job, we can't have healthcare and work, etc., etc. So, what I'm here just to introduce to you in the few minutes I have is the holistic vision of human rights, the interconnected and interrelatedness of human rights as a way of life. Okay? Just remember, 152 countries in the world ratified all the conventions and covenants, all the norms and standards that the United Nations agreed upon, but the people don't know about it. So what I call on you, young women, to do, very, very important, is to all of you to become mentors of human rights. When you are a mentor, you reach equality. When you reach equality, you reach human rights. And equality is on all ways of life. And equality is me recognizing the man who is now taking a picture of me as a full human being. And he the same. It's very difficult, just to stand and preach and give a lecture. But the thing is that you have given me a gift. You have given me a gift by really listening to me, and I hope you do. And later in the meetings today, there'll be very wonderful colleagues of mine who will come to discuss in a real meaning, in a real depth, the meaning of human rights. Now, you heard me say causes and symptoms. We very often work mostly on violations of human rights. And we have to. As I said before, if I fall down, please pick me up. But let's look at the stone. And let's see, what can we do? What are the causes of the fact that what is this stone? What are the causes of the fact that I fell down? Many of us, we work on violence against women in street A, and it comes up in street B. We work on trafficking of women in street A, and it comes in street B. So what we thought to really make it relevant to people's daily life, we started developing human rights cities. Many of you speak of human rights cities for girls. No, it has to be girls who work to develop in the community human rights cities. And a human rights city is actually the whole world, but it's a more measurable, more manageable, way of looking at the world. In every city, you have every kind of issue that is there in the world, except having an army, okay? But otherwise, all the issues are there. Political, civil, economic, social, and cultural. What we do in a human rights city, we invite people who work on every single issue in the community. And they learn the meaning of human rights and how poverty and power and politics, how health and education, how they are all interconnected and interrelated. Many of us just work on one issue, but we don't see how it's interconnected. So we give girls education, but they don't have equality. So the thing is that it is the people themselves who have to discuss the meaning of equality. I'm an 84-year-old woman. I have had a lot of work around the world. I have visited 60 countries, but I want to tell you something very simple. Your religion, your culture, your historic memory can contribute to understand the meaning of human rights to your life. And this is what I'm here to tell you. What I want to say is really in a very, very practical way. You young women, the world has grown in my lifetime from 1 billion to 7 billion people. Could you imagine? From 1 billion to 7, and in your countries more than in Western countries. I just heard in a wonderful way, which should give you a lot of hope, that Indonesia, that was a very oppressive country, has just chosen a man who is running the country and overlooking the differences between religions and between genders and trying to bring an equitable, a good economic system. India too is trying to do it. Whether it will happen or not, it can't happen without you young women. Because you young women in yourself, in what you are, you embody the need for equality. Because young women around the world, all over, don't have enough education, I will never forget that. A woman came here at Columbia University and learned about equality and about having her own life. She got some money, she built a farm, a milk farm. But as the milk farm got better, she sent her 2 sons to school, and then the 3 girls work with her on the farm. This is not equality. This is losing a tremendous 50% of the world, of the brains that the world has to give. We look at the world a little different because we give birth, we have smaller lungs, we have different needs, but we are equal in everything except on the fact that we bury children in our body, but we have to bring them together with our husbands. Now, the thing is, what I would like this conference to be, if possible, is to discuss very, very, very carefully the difference between symptoms and causes. That you discuss and you start developing and discussing critical thinking and systemic analysis. You all can do it. You don't have to be big intellectuals. You don't have to go to universities. Just look at the short version of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Read it out loud. See how it's relevant to your life. But stay away from talking about violation. Talk only about realization. What I mean to say is that we speak about health, okay? Oh, look around. We have a new hospital coming up in our village. Hallelujah. We have the human right to health. Oh, but wait a minute. What are we doing? They have only 400 beds and we need 600 beds. So, in the human rights city, we look around, or in the human rights village, we look around and we say, okay, now we need another 200 beds. Meaning we always look, and I ask you to look in your future, in what you contribute. As mentors, contribute. Look at the realization of human rights. Look at how you straighten up right here the dignity of being human and recognizing, as I said already before, the humanity of the other. Now, to bring this to a and I could talk forever, I would ask you that. I said to you something about human rights cities. We have materials that you could read and see it. In the human rights city, you can take what I have said in a very kind of a broad way to look at it and see how can we make this city equal to all its people, giving the services to all its people, the people participating in the decision that determine their lives. This is absolutely important for each one of us to participate in the decision to determine our life, regardless of what age we are, within our age group and the way we do. My God, in the former world at the age of 15, you were already adults. Now they keep you young till you are 22. Anyway, as one woman to young women, I want to say again, I came here to take your gift, allowing me to speak to you, and I'd like to share with you a gift. Human right is a way of life. Human right is a way we have to live with one another. And it's not just 2 words. Please, don't allow people to speak with you about rights, because rights, as I said, are verticals, human rights are horizontal. Try to see how in your community, guided by human rights, you can develop a system that is equal to everybody, that you have choices guided by human rights. The last thing I'd like to say is the following. If from that meeting you can take materials that we will send you, that every young woman in the world becomes a mentor of human rights. Not teaching, but sharing, but talking. Not arguing, but having a dialogue. Not telling others, but as I do now, because I have no other way to discuss with you, only through this camera, but having a dialogue and slowly, slowly moving to change the future of humanity. 7 billion people is a lot of people. And there'll be more and more. There's not enough water. They say there's enough food. But unless we see all ourselves as equal human beings, regardless of age, regardless of our religion or historic memory, we enrich everything we are in the framework which we call of human rights. you will have a better future. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope your friends will take it further, and I hope each one of you will become a mentor and also try to develop a human rights city in your community, and we are here to help you with materials and anything we can. Thank you so very much.